Hello everyone, my name is Miggy Smalls and thank you very much for watching my video. And in today I got for you guys a guide and tutorial on how to make your time in WWZ just a little bit easier. Now, obviously the title is a little bit of a joke on getting good, but nonetheless there is some great tips and tricks here that can help out any player, whether you're a veteran, been playing for a while, you know all the missions, you're high level, you're doing everything on insane, or you're a new player and you really don't know what you're doing. There's something for everybody. I do assure you that no matter what kind of player you are, there is something in this video that will help you out and make your time in WWZ easier. I've been playing the game a lot. I haven't had a chance to play it too recently, but I've played every single mission on the first 2 difficulties at least once, working on the insane difficulty and the 4th difficulty. But more important than that is I've played a lot solo. I've played a lot solo queuing with random people online, and I've picked up a lot on what people are doing out there, not in a group. Based off of that, I've written down some tips and tricks that I like to share with you guys in case you're doing some of these mistakes that I see a lot. Even if you are in a pre-made 4-stack group, there will be things in here for you to note as well, just saying. Each tip I'm going to be talking about is going to fall into one of these certain sections, and these sections will be environment, weapons, communication, knowing your class, team peeling, position, and melee brawls. Everything that I talk about will fall into one of these categories, and I'll go through each of the categories to make it more organized. So without further ado, the first category is going to be environment and how to use it to your advantage. I really don't know why I see this so much, but every single time I'm in a game, I don't see people using the weapons that were set out for them. In a lot of different cases in the game, you're going to have to defend a certain point, and there's going to be hordes of zombies coming out, and you're going to have to fend them off. The game knows this and places defenses and certain weapons around for you to use. I always see people never using those said weapons. Machine guns, mortars, heavy weapons, nothing. I see them using their base weapon that they start in with, which doesn't really make sense to me. It seems like a simple thing to say, but I see it so often that I might as well put it in this anyway. Use your environment. If there's a machine gun to your left, use it to mow down that horde. It is a lot more powerful than the weapon you are using. If there was mortars, use them. Another trick that I didn't know for a little bit is that if you go behind the mortar, before you activate it, there's a red circle that you can see, and that's where the mortar is going to hit. Because I used to just fire one mortar shot and see where that landed and then base it off of that. I didn't really know that until a little bit ago, but now that I do, so I'm going to share it off to you. Yeah, that's basically it. Really simple. I mean, honestly, I really didn't think I would have to say this, but I see it time and time again. People are just using the guns that they have, and they're not using mortars, machine guns, putting up turrets, using barbed wire, the heavy weapons, all of that, and they're not using it. These were put in the game for a specific reason, and it is because they are a lot more powerful than the standard guns you're given, so use them to your advantage, please. Next, we're going to be talking about weapons, and another simple thing that I see happening all the time that I didn't think I would have to mention, but I am, is the weapons and how to tell if your weapon is higher tier. When you're carrying a weapon, there's going to be a certain number of dashes on that weapon, ranging from 1 to 3. 1 being lowest, 2 being above 1, and 3 being the highest. Really pretty simple, really. I still people rolling around with their mini Uzis, the tier 1 weapon, and they pass by a tier 3 carbine and they don't pick it up. No matter if your weapon is upgraded or not, if you see another weapon that is higher tier, you're going to want to pick it up because the upgrades aren't going to bump it up a complete tier of weaponry. Another point I would like to add, if you're in the early stages of the game and you see a weapon that has all of your upgrades on it and it's the same tier as what you're using already, pick that up. Obviously, upgrades are very nice. Another thing I'd like to talk about is heavy weapons. Use your heavy weapons. I see people hanging on to heavy weapons and never ever using them, especially when there's a heavy weapon near you. That kind of gives you more leniency. You can burn through the heavy weapon you have currently and then pick that one up to take its place if you want. But I see a ton of people being very stingy with their heavy weapons. Please use them. They are very effective. Same thing with their lethals, their grenades, Molotovs, C4, whatever you're using as your lethal. Be sure to use those, especially if there's a pack of lethals that you can pick up. You know, you can be a lot more lenient, maybe throw both of your lethals out, and then you can restore. The next category is going to be communication. Now, this goes for solo queuers as well, but if you are in a group of 4, communicating it makes the game so much easier and a lot more enjoyable and productive. being able to communicate people goes a long way. Say you have a gun that you really like and maybe you have it completely upgraded. Communicating that with your team, letting you use that, is going to be more beneficial. If somebody needs a med kit, there's a med kit over here. Somebody needs lethals, there's lethals over here. I hear a lurker around, I hear a gas bag, I hear a bull. We need to coordinate and take this thing out. I highly recommend you people on PC that if you're solo queuing, you use push to talk or whatever you want to use to communicate. I recently just met a couple people that turned out to be really friendly and really nice, and I'm going to be playing a lot with them more because I went out and started communicating with them. The game is a lot of fun on its own in my opinion, but it gets amplified very much so if you're communicating. Another thing I would like to add is communicating your role and other roles around you. Certain people have certain perks that would go a longer way if they had certain items than you. To put this in perspective, using the Gunslinger class, there's a perk that gives you 3 grenades instead of just 2. So if you pick up that bag of lethals, you're going to have 3 grenades and not 2. A case like this popped up in my previous video where there was a lethal bag and me and my partner both needed lethals, but since I had the upgrade, I was like, no, let me take this because I have 3 grenades and you're only going to have 2 Molotovs. Another case of this would be with the medic. Solo queuing and I got queued into a medic and they were typing in the chat, if you see a medkit, let me pick it up because there's a chance that if I heal somebody, I can get another medkit back. That stuff is very useful to know. Another case would be the heavy weapons. I know firsthand that the Gunslinger has a perk where they can have an upgraded machine gun. Calling out to your team, if somebody finds a machine gun, you know, let me know. I do bonus damage, I have more ammo, it'll be a lot better for the team if I have that. Stuff like that. And that section kind of blends in with knowing your strong suits as a class, which is the next section. This goes hand in hand with communication. Knowing your strong suit as a class, what you are good at, should manipulate the way you play the game. I'm currently in the process of leveling up every single class, and with each class I go through, I'm changing my game, and that's what you should be doing too. All these classes are unique, they're not crazy different, but some things definitely give them an edge over others. Knowing that you're a medic, knowing that if you revive somebody, they have a chance to get higher health, you have a chance to get extra bonuses, you know, whatever. Communicating to that to your team, knowing that you have special perks, make sure you're putting them in use. Every now and then, I just like to take a look at my class tree and make sure that I'm running good perks. Make sure that I know exactly what I'm bringing to the table in terms as a teammate and what I can use to my advantage as we get into the game. Some of the perks can be pretty complex, such as the Gunslinger. You're going to hear me mentioning Gunslinger a lot because that was the first class that I picked up, the first class that I learned the game on, and the first class that I maxed out. A perk on the Gunslinger is that after you unload your primary ammo, you're out of ammo on your primary, at least the clip rather. So before reloading, if you switch weapons and unload the clip on your secondary, it automatically reloads your primary weapon. This perk is pretty engaging in the way that you play and can very much help you out in a tough situation. The next session is also pretty standard, pretty simple, and pretty quick. Team Peel. That's really all there is to it. If they're really weak and you have a health pack, heal them up. You know, don't be stingy. They're your teammate. They can help you. If they're in trouble, if they have a lurker on them, whatever the case may be, maybe they're all out of ammo, they're out of stamina, they're swinging in a big horde, help them out. Pretty sure later on the road they will definitely help you out too. That's really it. Even if you're not communicating, even if you don't know these people, even if they're bots, try to help your teammates out because ugh, cringe. You are all in this together. Ugh, gross. And you're not going to succeed without everybody. That's pretty much it. Make sure to help each other. The next session I will be talking about is positioning. Now this is really important during those big waves where you're defending a certain area and the hordes of zombies are coming in. Make sure that you're in a position to give yourself leeway. Make sure you're in a position for when things go bad, you're not killing all the zombies, they're climbing up, especially in Jerusalem, they're breaking past the defensive and you're getting swarmed. Make sure you have an escape route, make sure you have space to move. Biggest thing I see is that people are starting way back when really you should be pushed up as far as possible, so then you have ample room to keep backing up and backing up and backing up instead of staying back and letting them push to you. Taking the fight to the zombies is a lot better. Leaving yourself some leeway space in case of things getting too heated is a very good idea. Another point in positioning I might add during these waves and things like that is heavy weapons. If you have a heavy weapon on you and there's another heavy weapon on the ground, try to position yourself near that. You know, use your heavy weapon, get the most value out of it, kill a bunch of zombies, and then once that's out, make sure that you can pick up that heavy weapon right away. Position near that, you can get a really quick transition into another heavy weapon and keep on doing lots of damage and killing lots of zombies. The main thing here is have a plan. Have a plan for when the zombies are going to come in. What are you going to do? Alright, when that doesn't work out or when it fails, what are you going to do next? You know, you use the machine gun on this big lump of wave. When that runs out, what are you going to do? Maybe switch to your heavy. Maybe kind of rotate towards that other heavy, so when you run out of your heavy, you can pick up that heavy and keep on going. Something like that. You don't have to plan, you know, not nearly as that, but pushing up and leaving yourself some room to escape, not leaving yourself in a corner, is a very good idea. Another point I'd like to add is when people are reloading, they seem to just stare zombies in their soul. And that's really not the way you want to do it. Whenever you have to reload, be sure that you're turning around, looking for things to maneuver around. What I just call is backtracking. When you can't fight, just backtrack. Just take a couple of steps back. You know, while you're reloading, you can be moving back. This goes back to the positioning point. You can position so that when you need to reload, you can take a couple steps back, reload, and not be taking any damage when you're killing zombies. A mechanic in the game that I found really useful is arm switching, or switching your third-person view from your right side to your left side. This can be pretty helpful when there's a big horde coming and you don't really want to peek out too far. Another time I find this useful is, you know, when I hear a lurker and I know where he is, I can peek around the corner and kill him. This mechanic is also helpful in PvP, if you're interested in that. It's really not too crucial of an idea, but it can help you out in some ways. So just remember that I know on PC it's the X key, not too sure on console. The last thing I'm going to be talking about is meleeing. Now, in the higher levels, meleeing is an absolute last resort. I only melee when there's maybe like one crawler zombies crawling towards me and I just, you know, kick them down. Meleeing is bound to get you killed in the higher levels. Meleeing should be a last resort thing. That's why I think the higher difficulty slasher is one of the worst classes. It does have some good perks, such as the stun gun can be really, really good for those bulls, because during on insane difficulty, those bulls are really tanky and they cause a lot of problems. But try not to melee as much as you can. You have guns for a reason. Personally, meleeing should be a very, very last resort. Your back's up against the wall. You have no ammo in either of your guns. You have no heavy, no lethals. And then you can use your melee. But by then, you're probably dead. All I'm trying to say is don't have melee be your main source of damage. A lot of times I'll see somebody facing a big group of zombies and maybe they have to reload, maybe they don't, and they just go in there with their machete slashing around, and that really isn't too effective. What I said before in positioning, just backtrack, turn around, keep moving forward, maneuver around obstacles while you're reloading, and once you're reloaded, turn around and give them hell. In the earlier stages, it really doesn't matter too much unless there's really big hordes, but in the later stages, and especially insane, meleeing is really not a good idea. Well, that's really all I wanted to cover. I know this was really pretty simple, pretty standard, but I see these things happening a lot in my games, and they're just small things that if you tweak, they'll go a long way. I highly advise you to try at least one of these things and try to manipulate it in your game and see how it works for you. If anybody disagrees with anything I said or would like to add something, feel free to post it in the comments below. I will of course look at it and I will most likely respond to it. Another point I'd like to add is if anybody is on PC and playing WWZ and would like to play with me, post it in the comments below, because I really don't have too many people that I'm playing with right now, and I have looked at the WWZ Reddit and WWZ LFG Discord, and it's really not my scene, especially because the people that I'm going to be playing with most likely are going to be in these YouTube videos. So if you're having fun with WWZ, you're liking it, and you don't really have a group to play with, and you would like to, and you're on PC, post a comment down below, and I will look at it, and I will most likely be playing with you, and you'll most likely be in another video. If that's something that interests you, be sure to comment down below. If you liked this guide and thought it was helpful, be sure to subscribe, because I'm playing a lot more WWZ. I'm really liking the game, and I'm going to be uploading a lot more content. One of my previous videos is getting a lot of views lately. It's on the Weapon XP farm. If you haven't checked that out, I highly advise to do so. Well, that's really all I wanted to say, guys. Again, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.